Furina character demo music stands out as one of the most unique character demos in the history of Genshin Impact. It seamlessly blends modern music, jazz, and orchestral elements together. In this video, we are going to take a closer look at the music, exploring the instrument employed and how they come together to create this masterpiece of a song. If you enjoy this type of video, leave a like and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. My name is Fenvalur, and let's talk about the music of Furina. Before we delve into the topic, make sure to click the link on the top right to listen to the full song that I've made. First off, we have the orchestra section, specifically the string and the brass sections, playing a marching pattern as shown in this music score. The song is in B flat major, and if you take a closer look, you'll notice that the cello, which acts as the bass line, remains on the same note, B flat. While the other section of the strings and horn changes chords. The note B flat here acts as a pedal point. A pedal point is a note that is held while the harmony is changed. This creates intensity and building anticipation for the upcoming part. In the next part, you can see that they are still using the same technique. The tuba, contrabass, and the cello continue to play a B flat bass line, while the other section of the strings and brass gradually comes in before the entire orchestra all plays together. At the ending, the percussion section here plays an accented beat using a bass drum, timpani, and a cymbal. This concludes the introduction of the song. I personally feel that this section resembles the grand opening of a theater, which perfectly aligning with the theme of Fontaine and Furina herself. Next, we have a freestyle section featuring a piano and a solo accordion. In this context, freestyle means that it doesn't have to be exactly on beat. The musician will play as they see fit. Now, we're approaching the main section of the song. The guitar gradually builds up in the volume here, using E flat minor 6 at 9 chords. This choice adds a jazzy and intriguing touch to the chords, making them a little bit more interesting. The first melody line is played by a saxophone section, establishing the theme of the song. Even in this short passage, you can already feel the fontaine atmosphere floating around. To enhance the beat even more, we have a brass section, and the piano plays an accent chord in the background as well. And together we get this cohesive sound. Now, let's move on to the next part of the song. In this section, we have a solo guitar playing the main melody, while the other guitar provides support with the chords. The bass and the drum also joins in, establishing a rhythm for the song. What's special about this part is that it sounds like an old recording, similar to what you would hear in an old television or an old cassette tape. If you watch the original character demo video, you'll notice that this part features an old recording. HOYO-Mix is aware of this. They intentionally make the song sound old-fashioned as well. The technique I employed to recreate this vintage recording sound is actually quite straightforward. I utilize an equalizer to eliminate the low and a significant portion of the high frequencies. This helps in achieving that authentic old school vibe. In the next part, we return to a more modern sound, and as you can see in the original character demo, the video also resumes with color. Now, the song sounds more active, and you can feel the beat more clearly. That's because the high frequencies and the lows are bad. This actually makes the guitar sound brighter and more lively. In the upcoming section, we will introduce our central musical theme, which will be performed by a saxophone. The main melody you hear is played by a tenor saxophone and a violin one. But without the harmony and the support of the soprano and the alto saxophone, this section wouldn't be as complete. In order to achieve the most realistic sound possible with our MIDI saxophone, it's important to understand what makes the saxophone unique. The saxophone is an incredibly versatile instrument, offering a wide range of techniques that can be executed. One of the key techniques is dynamic, which is controlled by the expression. Another important technique is vibrato, which is controlled by the modulation. And let's not forget about the growl, a unique technique that gives the sound a distinctive quality, controlled by MIDI CC8. By mastering these techniques, we can make our MIDI saxophone sound close to the real thing. And as you can see, we have to do quite a lot of automation to make this thing sound natural. For the rhythm part, we introduce an electric guitar that plays an upbeat chord alongside the acoustic guitar. This will create a pleasant background sound that sits nicely in the beat. In the second part, the drum introduces a right cymbal, which adds a fresh rhythm to the music, while the baritone saxophone joins in during the final part of the phase, adding a bass melody line to the brass section. And after that, we have a full big band with a brass section playing a lively melody, accompanied by a jazzy trumpet shake. In this part, the piano also makes a comeback and plays a jazzy repeated line in the background. The drums become more aggressive with the snare, while the brass section, mainly the trumpet, takes over the melody. All the section comes together to conclude this part of the song. Next part acts as a bridge, connecting the first and the second section of the song. In this part, the vocals are introduced with a simple piano playing a waltz rhythm as an accompaniment. In general, the waltz rhythm consists of 3 beats in a bar. It typically starts with a bass note on the first beat, followed by 2 chords, as indicated in the score. Now, the strings were introduced alongside the choir, which made this part sound even more grand and full. In the second half of the song, a fresh rhythm and motif are introduced. We kick things off with a baritone saxophone accompanied by a catchy beat. To enhance the rhythm, we use a brass section that plays an articulation called a fall articulation. This adds a touch of playfulness and liveliness to the song. And now, we got the saxophone and the brass coming in one by one. First up, we got a tenor and a baritone playing this cool repeating pattern. Then, the alto sax and the tenor saxophone switch things up and start playing the melody. while the baritone keeps jamming with the same pattern. And lastly, the soprano sax jumps in, playing an octave higher but rocking the same note as the baritone saxophone, while the trumpet plays the melody in unison with the tenor saxophone. In the next section, the music shifts to a more modern beat, specifically a trap beat. What sets this apart is the prominent use of the drum. If you pay close attention, you'll notice plenty of hi-hat rolls, a characteristic commonly found in trap beats. The rhythm part is occupied by the string section. They play the chords on each upbeat of the bar with a staccato articulation, creating a short and playful sound. Additionally, you may not have noticed, but there is a gentle nylon guitar playing in harmony with the string as well. This adds a delightful touch to the overall mix and also expanding the sound palette. Lastly, we come to the violin solo. Since this is a solo and exposed line, we need to employ a fair amount of MIDI automation to ensure it sounds fairly realistic. Similar to the saxophone, there are a few key parameters we need to focus on here: dynamics, vibrato, and a unique one called bow pressure. As the violin is the bowed instrument, the pressure applied while playing directly affects the sound produced. By adjusting this parameter, we can make the MIDI sound more akin to a human playing, and together, the section is complete. We have reached the final section of the song, and as you all know, the main star of the show is the vocals. Therefore, in this section, all the instruments will serve as support for the main vocal. In the background, the guitar and the piano are playing the chords. The entire brass section plays together to make the track more interesting and filled with variety of tones and timbre. The saxophone and trumpet plays the runs just before transitioning into the next verse. These runs beautifully complement the vocal melody, adding a harmonized touch. In addition, we also have the solo violin playing the alternative melody, which adds a nice musical touch to the overall section. The choir sings, occupying the space in the background, and the drum change the rhythm to a more active and lively beat, making the climax of the song fun and exciting. And now we conclude the song with a unison line and a crazy drum fill, bringing the song to its grand final. And there you have it, a comprehensive breakdown of Furina's character demo music. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon. By doing so, you'll gain access to the project file and all the MIDI file of the cover that I have created. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.